Okay, this is game number 1, queen versus rook. I'm playing with the queen, and the black side is Stockfish, and I'm not paying any attention when it's my turn. I'm paying any attention to the Stockfish recommendations. Just do the best I can. Game number 1. Wait a few seconds. I'm trying to get my king closer in toward the center. The queen is easy to get to the center. That can be done very much more quickly, but I need to get the king as close as I can to the center. And so far, the rook e1 is what Stockfish recommends. So I'm just going to come a little bit closer here because I know this queen controls this diagonal. So if I come a little closer, check me once. Notice that? If this rook moves to e3, I can just move to f4, and my queen and king both hit this e4 square, so there'll be no more checks. So let's see what Stockfish is going to do. rf1. Of course, that's a problem. I have to see, I don't want to get off toward the side. I want to keep probably better toward, because if I do anything like king to g4, then he'd just check me on g1. So I'll come here to prevent any more checks for the moment. And I made a little progress. How many moves has that been? It's been a few. The third move that I've made. Stockfish is going to move rook to f5. Good. Keeping the rook near the center, and it's a knight move away. Notice this, that the black king and the black rook, where knights move away from each other, which is generally often a good position for them to be in this kind of endgame. So now I need to see about getting my queen involved, because the king cannot do anything else. I can't advance toward the center with my king. So the point is, where do I move my queen? What can I do with it? I want to be doing something that would cause the black king to move out of the center, or to attack the rook in some advantageous way. And if I do move the queen to c6, that could do the trick. It's meaning now it's black king can move, of course, to e5. Then I'd advance my king. So what can black do to keep my king out here? Not a lot. See what it recommends. Rook e5 looks good to me. And I move king to d2. There's no more checks. Now black has to make a decision. What is Stockfish going to do? Well, let's see. Rook f5. Okay, repeats the position. And now I need to find a way to force the black king away from my king, or something like that, to eventually get it out of the center. I'm going to move here, driving it toward another square in the center, but allowing my king to move forward. Stockfish recommends king to e5, and this is a simple choice for me to move here. Opposition with the queen controlling this rank. So this is going to make progress. Rook to f8, which is interesting. I would have thought king to d5. Rook f8. But now it's allowing my king to get into the center. I'm just simply going to move here and take up the black move. King to f6. Well, yeah, he has to get out of the center. I'm going to move here because my queen controls this square. You notice it can be an important point, just moving your king somewhere in better position when your queen is preventing a check by the black rook. You don't want to be harassed by the black rook generally when you're on the winning side, so to speak, of this endgame. King to g6. Now black is getting the king moved kind of close to the edge. I'm a little surprised here. I want to do this because I might bring my king forward, but I can't, of course, move king to e5 because I lose my queen and lose the game. But then we'll even be able to capture the rook after it moves rook to f5. So my king is hampered by the rook directly here, and indirectly I can't move my king here at the moment. Continue covering this square. Notice I'm continuing to cover this e8 with the queen, preventing this rook, and I'm also now covering this square. So I can move forward now if it was my turn. Black is going to move rook to f1, which is now white has the move, and this is important. There may be some way that I can take advantage of this. I have to be aware of this checking square here at e1 when the white king is on this diagonal. I can't ignore that fact with that rook to e1 check. I can get some checks of my own to try to maneuver in such a way that I can get around that problem, but I'm going to need to look at that rook to e1 check from now on as we're going through this sequence. Now it's my turn. What's the best way to work at this? I want to make a check such a way that I have another check coming up. And I think I see one. I see some working squares here. I don't see any useful ones right here at the moment. I could, however, try this. The queen to d3, that's one possibility, attacking the rook. If you move check, and I move my king here with check, and I can have some more positional pressure on the black king. Of course, allowing them to go this way. I think that's probably the best at the moment. But still, it allows rook to here, which is usually better for white, but I think I'm going to go here in this way. Do this, and I have a feeling it's better here. Now, there's probably no simple way to win the rook here. Stockfish is looking deeply. Move the king to f6, which I thought is what it would do. The situation is there are forking squares here. So as I come here, check. Stockfish says king to g6. Right. You see, I want to keep an eye on this forking square. What good does it do to go here if the king moves here? That's the trick. Is there any other forking square that's available? I don't see any. I think the best way for right now, but since my queen is protecting e1, is now to move forward and gain some pressure on the black king. Now I'm going to go quicker now, or f5, which is a check. You see now as the king moves here, this square is covered. There's a name for that. I forgot the name. There's a name for this kind of position. But the queen and king are both protecting this square. Rook to g5. That's good. I can drive the black king down to the edge of the board here, perhaps. Not immediately. I think I'm going to, rather than make a check, which might not be useful, drive it in here probably. I'm going to try this, which really restricts the black side here, and controlling these three squares. And he moves king to h5. And now I need to make some decisions here.